Lily's world felt gray. Not just cloudy day gray, but a deep, heavy gray that seemed to cling to everything. Her family had lost their home after her dad lost his job. Now they were staying with her grandma in a tiny, cramped apartment. Lily missed her old room, her friends, and even her grumpy cat, Whiskers, who was staying with a neighbor until things got better. School was the hardest. She used to love art class, but now she couldn't focus. Her drawings were messy, and the colors felt dull. Lunchtime was even worse. While her friends chatted and laughed, Lily sat alone, picking at the small sandwich her grandma packed. She felt like everyone was staring, whispering about the poor girl who lost her house. She clutched her worn-out teddy bear, Barnaby, tightly in her backpack. Barnaby was the only thing that felt familiar and safe. Even Mrs. Davis, her kind teacher, seemed to look at her with pity. Lily hated being pitied. She just wanted things to go back to normal. She wanted her dad to smile again, her mom to stop looking so tired, and Whiskers to curl up on her bed at night. But most of all, she wanted to feel like herself again, the girl who loved to draw, laugh, and dream big dreams. Now, all she felt was lost and lonely, like a tiny boat adrift in a vast, stormy sea. Tom was a boy who noticed things. He noticed the small robin that always perched on the windowsill outside their classroom. He noticed how Mr. Henderson's tie always had a tiny stain from his lunch. And he noticed Lily. He'd seen her around before, always smiling and full of energy. But lately, she seemed different. Her shoulders were slumped, and her eyes looked sad, like a puppy who had lost its way. He saw her sitting alone at lunch, pushing her food around her plate without eating. He noticed she didn't laugh at Mrs. Davis's jokes anymore. And he saw her struggling with her art project, her brow furrowed in concentration as she tried to mix the right colors. One afternoon, after school, Tom saw Lily sitting on a bench in the playground, staring at the ground. He hesitated for a moment, feeling a little nervous. He didn't know Lily very well, but he couldn't ignore her sadness any longer. Taking a deep breath, he walked over and sat down beside her. "Hi," he said softly. "I'm Tom." Lily looked up, startled. Her eyes were red-rimmed, and she quickly wiped them with the back of her hand. "Hi," she mumbled, barely audible. "I'm Lily." Tom didn't say anything for a moment, giving her time to gather herself. He just sat there quietly, letting her know he was there if she needed him. He knew what it felt like to be down. His dog, Buster, had been sick last year, and he had been so sad. Finally, he asked, "Is everything okay, Lily? You seem sad." Lily hesitated, her bottom lip trembling. She didn't usually talk about her problems. It felt embarrassing. But Tom's kind eyes seemed to invite her to share. We lost our house," she whispered, the words barely audible. "My dad lost his job, and we couldn't pay the rent." Tom nodded slowly, understanding dawning in his eyes. "I'm really sorry, Lily," he said sincerely. "That must be really tough." The next day at school, Tom surprised Lily. During math class, which Lily always struggled with, Tom offered to help. He explained the fractions in a way that made sense, using apples and oranges as examples. Lily's face lit up as she finally understood. "Thanks, Tom," she said, a genuine smile gracing her lips for the first time in weeks. "You're a really good teacher." At lunchtime, Tom walked over to Lily's table and sat down beside her. He pulled out his lunchbox, which was packed with a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, a bag of chips, and an apple. "My mom always packs me too much," he said with a grin. "Want to share?" Lily's stomach rumbled. She hadn't eaten much breakfast. She shyly nodded. Tom split his sandwich in half and offered her the bigger piece. As they ate together, Tom told Lily about his pet hamster, Nibbles, and his love for building Lego spaceships. Lily, in turn, shared her passion for drawing animals. For the first time in a long time, Lily felt a flicker of hope. Maybe things wouldn't be gray forever. Maybe, with a friend like Tom, she could find her way back to the colors. As the weeks passed, Lily and Tom became the best of friends. They sat together on the bus, sharing silly jokes and stories. They worked together on class projects, Tom helping with the math and Lily creating beautiful illustrations. They even started a secret club, the Animal Protectors, dedicated to helping stray animals in their neighborhood. Lily discovered that Tom wasn't just kind, he was also really funny. He could make her laugh even when she felt like crying. Tom, in turn, admired Lily's creativity and her unwavering spirit, even when things were tough. One sunny afternoon, they were sitting under the big oak tree in the park, drawing in their sketchbooks. Tom was trying to draw Nibbles, his hamster, but it kept looking like a fluffy potato. Lily giggled, offering tips on how to capture Nibbles' tiny paws. "You're really good at drawing animals," Tom said, admiring Lily's sketch of a playful kitten. "You should be an artist when you grow up." Lily blushed, feeling a surge of confidence. "Maybe I will," she said, her voice filled with newfound hope. They discovered they both loved visiting the animal shelter. Tom dreamed of becoming a veterinarian, and Lily volunteered to draw portraits of the animals to help them get adopted. Their shared love for animals, art, and helping others created a bond that grew stronger every day. They were becoming each other's rocks, supporting each other through thick and thin, their friendship blossoming like a flower in springtime. One evening, Tom's mom, Mrs. Peterson, baked a huge batch of her famous chocolate chip cookies. The sweet aroma filled their cozy house, making Tom's stomach rumble. He knew his mom was planning something special. "Tom, honey," Mrs. Peterson called out. "Could you come here for a moment?" Tom walked into the kitchen, where his mom was arranging the cookies on a large plate. "I was thinking," she said, smiling warmly, "why don't we invite Lily and her family over for dinner tomorrow night? I know things have been tough for them, and it would be nice to have them over." Tom's face lit up. "That's a great idea, Mom," he exclaimed. He knew how much Lily missed having home-cooked meals and a comfortable place to relax. The next evening, Lily and her family arrived at the Petersons' house. Lily's mom looked tired, but she managed a grateful smile. Lily's dad, usually quiet and withdrawn, seemed a little brighter. And Lily. Lily was beaming. Mrs. Peterson welcomed them with open arms, ushering them into the living room, which was filled with the comforting scent of roasted chicken. Tom's dad, Mr. Peterson, was already there, setting up a board game on the coffee table. During dinner, everyone chatted and laughed. Lily's dad told funny stories about his old job, and Lily's mom shared her dream of opening a small bakery someday. Lily and Tom exchanged glances, a silent understanding passing between them. They were more than just friends, they were becoming like family. The warm food, the friendly faces, and the feeling of belonging filled Lily with a sense of peace she hadn't felt in a long time. It was a reminder that even in the darkest of times, kindness and connection could shine through. The Peterson family's kindness didn't stop with just one dinner. They continued to support Lily and her family in small but meaningful ways. Mr. Peterson, who worked as a carpenter, helped Lily's dad find some odd jobs around the neighborhood. Mrs. Peterson, a talented baker, offered Lily's mom some part-time work decorating cakes for her friends. Slowly but surely, things started to look up for Lily's family. With the extra income, they were able to save enough money to rent a small, cozy apartment of their own. It wasn't much, just 2 small rooms above a bakery, but it was home. Lily finally had her own space again, and she could bring Whiskers back from the neighbor's house. The day they moved in, Tom and his family were there to help. They carried boxes, painted walls, and even hung up Lily's drawings. As Lily unpacked her art supplies, she felt a surge of gratitude. She was so lucky to have such wonderful friends. That night, as Lily curled up in her own bed with Whiskers purring beside her, she felt a sense of hope she hadn't felt in months. She knew that things were still difficult, but she also knew that she wasn't alone. She had her family, her friends, and a newfound belief in herself. The grayness was slowly fading, replaced by the bright colors of possibility. She drifted off to sleep, dreaming of all the amazing things she and Tom could accomplish together, as the animal protectors, and as best friends. The small apartment, filled with love and support, felt like the start of a brand new chapter. In school, Mrs. Davis announced a new project, helping our community. Students could choose any community issue they wanted to address and create a presentation about it. Lily and Tom immediately knew what they wanted to do. "We should focus on helping the homeless," Lily suggested, her eyes shining with determination. "We could raise awareness and collect donations." Tom nodded enthusiastically. "That's a great idea, Lily. We could even draw pictures and write stories to show people what it's like to be homeless." They spent hours researching homelessness, learning about the challenges people faced and the resources available to help them. They visited a local soup kitchen and volunteered to serve meals, talking to the people who came for food and listening to their stories. Together, they created a powerful presentation that combined Lily's heartfelt drawings with Tom's informative research. They showed pictures of people sleeping on the streets, highlighted the lack of affordable housing, and shared stories of resilience and hope. They also organized a school-wide donation drive, collecting clothes, blankets, and toiletries for the homeless shelter. Working on the project together brought Lily and Tom even closer. They learned to appreciate each other's strengths and support each other's weaknesses. They discovered a shared passion for making a difference in the world and realized that they could achieve so much more together than they could alone. As they stood in front of the class, presenting their project with confidence and conviction, they knew that their friendship was something truly special, a bond that could withstand any challenge. Lily's smiles became more frequent and genuine. She started participating more in class, raising her hand to answer questions and sharing her creative ideas. Her grades improved, especially in math, thanks to Tom's patient tutoring. Even Mrs. Davis noticed the change, praising Lily's newfound confidence and enthusiasm. One day, Mrs. Davis pulled Lily aside after class. "Lily," she said, her eyes twinkling, "I'm so proud of how far you've come. You've shown incredible resilience and determination. And it's wonderful to see how you and Tom support each other." Lily blushed, feeling a warmth spread through her chest. Tom's encouragement had made all the difference. He believed in her, even when she didn't believe in herself. At home, Lily rediscovered her passion for art. She spent hours drawing in her sketchbook, filling the pages with vibrant colors and whimsical creatures. She even started selling her drawings at the local farmer's market, earning a little extra money for her family. She drew a special picture for Tom, a portrait of Nibbles, his hamster, wearing a tiny superhero cape. When she gave it to him, Tom's eyes lit up. "This is amazing, Lily," he exclaimed. "You're the best artist ever." Lily giggled, feeling a sense of accomplishment. She was no longer the sad, lonely girl who had lost her home. She was Lily, the artist, the animal protector, the friend, and the girl who was slowly but surely finding her way back to happiness. And it was all thanks to the kindness and support of a very special boy named Tom. He had not only helped her family but had also helped her rediscover herself. As they spent more time together, Lily and Tom started to notice something changing in their friendship. It was subtle at first, a lingering glance, a playful touch that lasted a little longer than necessary, a feeling of warmth that spread through their bodies whenever they were near each other. Tom found himself thinking about Lily all the time. He admired her kindness, her creativity, and her unwavering spirit. He loved the way her eyes sparkled when she talked about her art, and the way she always made him laugh, even when he was feeling down. He started walking her home from school every day, just to spend a few extra minutes with her. Lily, too, felt a shift in her feelings for Tom. She appreciated his unwavering support, his goofy sense of humor, and his genuine concern for her well-being. She loved the way he always listened to her, without judgment, and the way he made her feel safe and loved. She found herself looking forward to seeing him every day, and she missed him terribly when they were apart. One afternoon, while they were volunteering at the animal shelter, Lily noticed Tom struggling to comfort a scared little puppy. Without thinking, she reached out and gently placed her hand on his. Their fingers intertwined, and a jolt of electricity seemed to pass between them. They looked at each other, their eyes locking in a silent understanding. In that moment, they both realized that their friendship was turning into something more, something deeper, something special. A feeling blossomed between them, a feeling of warmth, comfort, and a hint of something exciting and new. They were no longer just best friends, they were something more. Tom wanted to show Lily how much he cared about her, not just as a friend, but as something more. He knew she loved animals, especially her cat, Whiskers, so he decided to create something special for her, a drawing. He spent weeks secretly working on it, sketching and shading, erasing and redrawing, determined to capture Whiskers' playful personality. He wanted to show Lily that he paid attention to the little things, that he noticed what made her happy. He remembered her telling him how Whiskers loved to chase butterflies in the garden, so he drew Whiskers leaping through a field of colorful butterflies, his tail swishing in the air. Finally, the drawing was finished. It was the best he had ever done. He carefully wrapped it in brown paper and tied it with a blue ribbon, Lily's favorite color. The next day, he waited for Lily after school, his heart pounding in his chest. When she appeared, her eyes sparkled with excitement. "Hi, Tom," she said, her voice filled with warmth. He took a deep breath and handed her the wrapped drawing. "I made this for you," he said, his voice a little shaky. "I hope you like it." Lily carefully unwrapped the gift, her eyes widening as she saw the drawing of Whiskers. Tears welled up in her eyes. "Tom," she whispered, her voice filled with emotion, it's beautiful. You're so talented." She hugged him tightly, and he could feel her warmth radiating through him. In that moment, he knew that his feelings for her were real, and he hoped that she felt the same way about him. The drawing was more than just a gift, it was a symbol of his affection, a way of telling her how much she meant to him. It was a piece of his heart, given freely and with love. The school organized a camping trip to the nearby state park. Lily and Tom were excited to go, not just for the camping and hiking, but also for the chance to spend more time together. On the first night, after everyone had set up their tents and roasted marshmallows around the campfire, the teachers organized a stargazing activity. Lily and Tom found a quiet spot away from the crowd, spreading a blanket on the soft grass and gazing up at the vast, twinkling sky. The stars seemed to stretch on forever, like a million tiny diamonds scattered across a velvet cloth. Lily pointed out the constellations she knew, the Big Dipper, Orion, and the Little Dipper. Tom, who had read a lot about astronomy, shared fascinating facts about planets and galaxies. As they lay there, side by side, the silence felt comfortable and natural. The only sounds were the gentle chirping of crickets and the distant hooting of an owl. The air was cool and crisp, and the scent of pine needles filled their lungs. Finally, Tom turned to Lily, his eyes filled with sincerity. "Lily," he said softly, I have something I want to tell you." Lily looked back at him, her heart pounding in her chest. She knew what he was going to say, and she felt a mixture of excitement and nervousness. Tom took a deep breath. "I really like you, Lily," he confessed, his voice barely a whisper. "Not just as a friend. I think I'm falling in love with you." Lily's eyes welled up with tears of joy. "Oh, Tom," she said, her voice trembling, "I feel the same way about you." They leaned in closer, their lips meeting in a sweet, innocent kiss under the starry sky. It was a moment they would never forget, a moment that sealed their love and marked the beginning of their forever. The stars seemed to shine even brighter, as if celebrating their newfound love. Years passed. Lily and Tom continued to support each other's dreams. Lily pursued her art, eventually becoming a successful children's book illustrator. Her books, filled with whimsical animals and heartwarming stories, brought joy to children all over the world. Tom followed his passion for animals, becoming a respected veterinarian, dedicating his life to caring for creatures big and small. They never forgot their promise to each other to always help those in need. They continued to volunteer at the animal shelter, rescuing abandoned pets and finding them loving homes. They also started a foundation to support homeless families, providing them with housing, job training, and resources to get back on their feet. They bought a small house with a big garden, where they adopted a menagerie of animals, cats, dogs, rabbits, and even a rescued parrot named Captain. Their home was filled with laughter, love, and the comforting purrs of contented pets. One sunny afternoon, while sitting on their porch, watching the butterflies flutter in their garden, Tom turned to Lily, his eyes filled with love. "Do you remember," he said, smiling, "the day we met? You were so sad, and I just wanted to help." Lily smiled back, her heart overflowing with gratitude. "I'll never forget it," she said. "You saved me, Tom. You showed me that even in the darkest of times, there is always hope, and there is always love." They held hands, their fingers intertwined, remembering how their love story began with a simple act of kindness. Their story was a reminder that true love can blossom from the most unexpected places, and that the greatest gift we can give each other is our unwavering support and unconditional love. They built a happy life together, always remembering where they came from and paying it forward with every opportunity. And so, the story of Lily and Tom became a local legend, a tale told and retold to inspire hope and kindness in others. It was a story about how even the smallest act of compassion can change a life forever, and how true love can blossom in the most unexpected of circumstances. Children would visit Lily's art studio, marveling at her colorful drawings and listening to her stories about the animals she loved. They would also visit Tom's veterinary clinic, cuddling the rescued pets and learning about the importance of caring for all living creatures. Lily and Tom often shared their story with the children, reminding them that everyone deserves a second chance and that even the darkest clouds can have a silver lining. They encouraged them to be kind, to be compassionate, and to always believe in the power of love. One day, a young girl named Maya, who had just moved to town and was feeling lost and lonely, heard Lily and Tom's story. Inspired by their kindness, she decided to volunteer at the animal shelter. There, she met a shy little boy named Ben, who was also feeling isolated and alone. Maya, remembering Lily and Tom's example, reached out to Ben, offering him friendship and support. And so, the cycle of kindness continued, spreading from Lily and Tom to Maya and Ben, and onward to countless others. Their love story became a beacon of hope, a testament to the power of human connection, and a reminder that even in a world filled with darkness, there is always light to be found, as long as we are willing to offer a helping hand and an open heart. Lily and Tom's legacy lived on, not just in their individual accomplishments, but in the countless lives they touched and the endless ripple of kindness they inspired.